When television emerged, the scenario changed. Media has become a corporate affair. It dealt with huge capital and large network of people. Truthful editors were replaced with sophisticated facilities. Superior infrastructure and super presenters become the attraction to people. Corporate media has no heart. It estimated things with a single parameter called revenue. Ethics were replaced with profit. There was fight between media houses. Some amalgamated with some other, and media polarization happened at international level. Corporate houses purchased both print publications and television channels in their drive for attaining power. And we have seen many practices including paid news in large scale in both print and television. Media houses fought with each other to hide truth. Never anyone bothered about the people and their issues. This is what we have seen in last 20 years.
So, in other words, what you would be doing is not just reporting. You will also be your editor and you would be your own supervisor. You probably would also have to be your own producer in trying to put this news across, because today in the democracy of the news arena, what happens is you can create a news module, a news capsule, and air it at your time, at your will, for people to watch at their time, at their will, whenever they want, more often than not free.
Internet community has grown as big to bring in the concept of global citizenship. People became friends with like-minded people across the world. Cheaters are being caught and thrown out at every point. Internet is not what initially thought about or afraid of. It is true that there are cheaters in internet world, but it also true that no one can cheat a vigilant citizen in internet space. There is some basic correction required in internet. That are all policy decisions of nations. India should decide on how to implement censorship as far as adult content is concerned. Present policy of UPA government on internet censorship is not that appreciable. It is not a reflection of Indian culture. India has a tradition that is based on certain values. World is coming back to value-based living and governance. Indians are welcomed across the world on account of our value-based living.
Anyone who prides in trying to be a storyteller, when you were little, what did you need to have? You needed to have a good voice, for one thing. It would be nice if you were also presentable and you have a good telegenic face. But assuming you didn't even have to show your face and all you had to do was read like you do in a radio, you still need a voice. You need a voice, whether it's visual or just audio. So a voice is what you need. You need the love for language, because the better your language, the better you are understood. No matter what language it is, the language you try to communicate, it has to be good. Your diction has to be good, because you need to be able to be understood by people who are listening to you.
With internet, media has come back to the domain of people. Every responsible citizen is a potential journalist.
And again, the ability of using words which are not something that make a reader guess what the meaning is, so that they are not homonyms, for example, so that they don't mean two things by it sounding alike.
We are in digital media to create large number of job opportunities and to help local governments to lead a global village towards development and growth. Let all our activities are open and known to all.
So the skill of the language, the skill of presentation on how best to tell a story, and then if you are using a camera to take pictures, you need the skill of also shooting the most relevant part of what you want to say in a story, spacing it out. If you're going to report it with voiceovers, then get the visuals edited with the sound, and then splice them together and then have them uploaded on the internet. If it's just pure radio, that's only audio, then what you're doing is you're telling the story, and all the arms and the R's and all of those things are cut, re-recorded, and then broadcast and upload.
In the year 1990, Sri John Thomas came back to India to join back Deccan Herald at Bangalore to head the Deccan Herald news service. He was also served the group to be the editorial point man for computerization. He was also taken up the responsibility of as a media trainer. He played an important role in the founding of the Asian College of Journalism in Bangalore. In 1994, he moved as an associate editor at the Statesman's headquarters in Kolkata in 1998 and worked there for 4 years up to 2002. Here, he took a 6-month break to be on the founding faculty of the Manorama School of Communication in Kottayam. In 2002, Sri John Thomas returned to Bangalore as editor operations of Vijaya Times, which started in 2002 December. He retired in 2006 and took over as Vice Dean of the Indian Institute of Journalism and New Media, IIJNM, and has since been a visiting faculty at Christ, Christu Jayanti and Garden City College in Bangalore, St. Aloysius Mangalore, and member of the Board of Studies of St. Joseph's College and Sikkim Manipal University. He was in Pune in the year 2010 as academic chairperson of the ISB&M School of Communication and moved back to Bangalore in March 2011 to head Team I. Sri John Thomas is grateful to his caring teachers in college and at work. He says this abiding gratitude keeps him in teaching arena that develop a bondage between the students and teachers. What prepared him for the career he chose was his participation in literary and debating activities all through college. His sporting activities at his university days keeps him young for his students in the 6th decade of his life.
So essential qualities what you need is, number one, you need news sense. You need to know what makes news. You need to know what you can broadcast, meaning what you can write, what you can tell the rest of the world without legal problems, without social problems. Then how well you tell it. Those are the skills you need in terms of diction and how well you present it in the form of audio or video. So essential qualities that you would need is to be able to tell a story and do it well.
Since there is no involvement of large investments, there will be no pressure from the advertising department. Area of operation is also spread across the world. An ideal media unit is a global village. The places where you are located or connected become the unit headquarters. It shall be your home or a neighborhood. You can pool an available team. One can give face, other can give voice. Some other can shoot clips. Someone at home can do basic editing before you send it to global TV to present it to the world. You retain freedom on what to communicate. There is no compulsion that you should do so many programs. Do as many you can. This is a pastime, wonderful opportunity to work on your passion. Editorial independence is the driving force behind journalism on internet. Citizen journalists are basically independent journalists who have taken up self-monitoring as part of their career. They are able to manage themselves. They work on a single window system that uses the powers, practices and ideas of a traditional press.
Collaborative ventures in telling stories, often you can take a broadcast, somebody telling a story, it can be from the location, but what you need is, if in those instances, you need somebody to collaborate with you to provide you studio facilities somewhere else from where it can be uploaded, in which case what you need is also visual support, not just of the location, but probably it could be infographics, it can be sound and technology backup, all of those things can be put together. The scripting can be done, voiceover can be done somewhere else. So broadcasting from a location can also be done in a studio situation, just like we do in normal television situations. But it can be done in extremely amateur way, but with the kind of skills, if it's a group and a collaborative effort, it can be done.
Digital media can be the larger ever employer in the world. The new model of independent media houses can solve the problem of unemployment in India at once. A digital media house has the advantage of freedom from influence of corporate and political powers. It is free from the old habits and practices of journalism like rigid and formal language. It is free from the agendas of those who are at power and positions. It also has the freedom of risk taking, since the size of a digital media is affordable and manageable.
Things that create problems very often are not just straightforward stories that happen like an accident or something that happened which is an inauguration or a function that you wanted to report. What does cause problem is the interpretation of an event. An interpretation of an event very often can be things, let's say, if you look at the Ramsena activity in Mangalore, or if you take the recent event, or you're trying to tell a story about the Besharmi Morcha. Those are all things where people can have opinions where it could be at gross variance from what you would like to say. You don't even have to go as far as that. If someone's a vegetarian and someone is not a vegetarian, don't we already have a controversy? So we can have always issues where we report where it might look perfectly all right to one group of people, but it can be completely anathema to another group of people.
Internet emerged like an angel when we thought nothing could save the world from the corporate media kings. The corporate philosophy is to spend money and takes money to spend more money to take more money back. Corporate philosophy of controlling internet with money power could not succeed.
How do we get this sensitivity sorted out? The only way we can do it is, one, it comes with experience. The other thing is, just like you have intelligence quotient, you need to have an emotional quotient. You need to know whether something will work. That is what you need to have, a sense of what you can and what you can't, because that essentially comes down to social responsibility, because democracy is not to be made into mobocracy. So if it is the responsibility of the people, then it's the same thing that applies in the case of democracy of news. It has to be of the people, but it must save the people and not harm the people.
Successful people always identify good ideas ahead of their time. Those who use politicians are the class of people who use 19th century ideas for 21st century goals of a nation. They never recognize anything other than sharing money with the corrupt. Ideas click with people who see future with an eye to see the future. Digital media houses are always relevant. It is different from social networks where everything vanishes in the next moment. Digital media will keep people updated with information relevant on a particular area until the target is achieved. There can be no hidden agenda. Everything is exposed in course of time. Let us be transparent and clear.
All that's keeping Indians from getting onto the net at the level that it's happening probably in the United States and in Europe, and even in some place in Southeast Asia, for example, is the lack of availability of the infrastructure and the bandwidth. And I think now when we are going in for wider and wider bands, we just might be able to get more and more of Indians on the line and on the air, and we just might be as big a presence around the world in the field of news as we are now in the economy and lots of other things that we are proud of as Indians.